Greetings from Mohammad Haris, Assistant Professor from Commerce Department. In this video, we're gonna learn about Introduction to Business Law and the subdivisions and the modules which are segregated. LMS is the way where the platform helps you to find all the e-contents of every subjects. Now we're gonna learn about business law and a subdivision called Indian Contract Act 1872. What does the term law means? Definitely it leads to legal. Any aspect which has been framed by the Indian government, Central Government of India, is said to be a law or a legal aspects. Let us see what Indian Contract Act defines. When it was enacted on 25th April 1872 and it came into the force on the first day of September 1872. Okay, fine. What is this barter system? Barter system is all about the ancient times when we used to exchange our goods from people. We give goods and we take goods for goods with an equivalent value. The relevancy of barter system was found to be complex in modern times because this was greatly affecting economic transactions it involves. This act applies to whole of India. Okay. What does this contract says? Let us see the meaning and the definition with the formula. Contract is an exchange of promises between two or more parties to do. Person A is there, person B is there, or refrain from doing if they are not able to. An act which is enforceable by law. The law which will be enforcing them to do. Definition. Section 2 bar H of the Indian Contract Act 1872, an agreement enforceable by law is a contract. What does this formula says? Contract is equal to agreement plus legal enforceability. Unless and until there is a proper agreement, there cannot be a perfect contract with added advantage with legal enforceability. So let us see what is agreement first. Section 2 bar E, every promise and every set of promises made by each other for consideration for each other, whatever, is an agreement. When this agreement concept comes inside, only when there is an offer plus an acceptance takes place, we can call it as an agreement. Okay. What about this promise? Law subject is all about a chain link. How a chain will be. It is an interlink. Once a link is broken and it is not called as a chain. So let us see from contract we just turned up into agreement. From the agreement we could see what is a promise. So promise section 2 bar B, when the person to whom the proposal is made signifies as in thereto the proposal is to be accepted by the person. For example, person A is giving a proposal when the B is supposed to accept it or can be rejected. Unless and until he or she is accepting it, it cannot become as a promise. Let us see what are the essentials of a valid contract. A valid offer is much required and acceptance is required. Unless and until there is a valid offer, there cannot be an acceptance. Intention to create legal relationship. There should be a perfect intention for a legal relationship. It cannot be illegal. Not all the terms can be framed here. Consensus ad idem. It is all about meeting of minds. Your mind should meet. For example, if I am willing to sell a product and or a commodity, the person opposite B from the market should be in the mindset of selling or buying the same concept or same product. For example, if I'm willing to sell a mobile, for example, a Sony mobile, person B, the opposite person who we call it as so-called buyer, he should have a mindset with buying a Sony mobile. So this is called consensus addendum. Okay. Lawful consideration, definitely it should be a lawful consideration. Without any lawful, cannot go ahead with this. Capacity to contract. The person should have the capacity to buy. The buying contract power, for example, he should be capacity by financial way. Financially, he should be strong. or he should be sound-minded, free consent. There should not be any obligations between themselves. Legality of object. The object should be very much clear, and the legally it should be framed. Possibility of performance. Any aspect could be possible, but there are also impossible. Impossibilities cannot bring into a contract. For example, no one can say that I'm bringing the moon and I'm going to sell to you. No, it is not possible. Writing and registration. This is highly required. And the final step where you need to make a note, which is called a writing, and you have to make it as a registration. Unless and until registration is done, you cannot prove your contract. Let's see classification of contracts, how it has been classified. They have been classified into legal effects, performance, formation. This is how it has been diversely classified. Okay, legal effects says about valid contract, void contract, voidable contract, unenforceable contract, illegal contract, performance, and unilateral contract, bilateral contract. It is all about that one person contractuals. Then executed contract, executory, where you are going to execute your contract. For example, executory contract says a contract which has to be performed in future and future performance. Okay. What about the formation? Express contract, implied contract, quasi contract. Express contract, quasi contract is all about not an actual contract, but it resembles as a contract. It will not be like a contract. It is created by law under certain circumstances. Only in certain circumstances it can be enabled. Okay, let's see what is implied as well. Implied contracts comes into existence by implication. Most often the implication is by law or by action, unless and until it is not taken voluntarily, it is by the law. Express contract, as we discussed, you have to, for example, a contract would be an express contract if the terms are expressed by words or in writing. It should be in the words, it should be expressed. Words are the best thing to express your exact contracts. Illegal is a term, it's a general term, and enforceable is you cannot be forced by anyone. Voidable contract, the contract itself gets cancelled by the government. Void contract, the partner person A or a person B, they itself themselves void it, cancelled it. Valid contract is a perfect, a genuine one. I hope we had a good clarity with the classification of contracts. Let's jump into offer and acceptance as we discussed with the essential values of contract. Offer or a proposal, whichever you call it as. Section 2 bar A, when a person signifies about his willingness, it's a general term called offer. For example, we offer something, offerings of giving something or giving a proposal to someone with their own willingness. We should, first of all, we should be very much clear about our willingness and the abstain from doing something. Be very much clear with that, with a view to obtaining the assent to the other such an abstinence. He is made to make a proposal that we're gonna make a proposal. What are the types of offer we have discussed here? Express, implied, we have already discussed. Specific, particularly you're making something. General offer, that's a common offer. Cross offer, when someone is offering you and you have to make it as a cross in the sense where your product will be meeting an equivalent value with them. Counter offer, buying and buying at the moment, even you to buy and he will also buy with a monetary way, not with a barter system. Standing offer, your offer should be have a valid time. Let's see the acceptance. Definitely when there is an offer, there should be an acceptance. Section 2 bar B, when a person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto, the proposal is said to be acceptance. Now the offer is multiplied and converted into acceptance. What are the requirements you need to acceptance? Right? You cannot say that acceptance must be provoked by an offer. See, not all the silence cannot be prescribed as a mode of acceptance. You should acknowledge yourself that whether you are accepting or not. An offer can be accepted only by the person to whom it is made. For example, person A and person B is making a contract, an offer plus acceptance. Person C cannot come inside and acknowledge about the person B's wish. Acceptance must be absolute and unconditional. It should be communicated. If you are accepting something, you should communicate it, and you should must be given within the time stipulated or within a reasonable time. You cannot take your own time. It is not at all possible. Let us see the another essential valid of contract. Free consent, section 13, two or more persons are said to consent when they agree upon the same thing in the same sense. Section 14. Consent is said to be free when it is not caused by caution, undue influence, fraud, misrepresentation, or mistake. These are the basic negative points which is possible in the contract. Capacity of parties. The parties section 11 defines a person who has not attained the age of majority. That is a person below 18 years. Is of unsound mind. The person should be stable minded. He should have the mind or mentally he should be fit. A person is disqualified from entering into contract. No person should be there in the contract unless and until he has been disqualified for any other reasons in any other contract. Therefore, law prohibits minor, persons of unsound mind, person who is otherwise disqualified like an alien enemy. It happens in our world. People are being considered mentally they are not good. And insolvents, convicts, people who have convicts on them still, if anything is got sued on them, they cannot make a contract. Government clearly defines that they are not eligible and they are not qualified. Let's see the lawful consideration. Section 2 bar D, it denotes about the desire of the promiser and the promisee or any other person who has done abstain from doing. Consideration means, what is consideration? It means a compensation. You are making a compensation with someone for doing or omitting to do an act or a deed. You are compensating something. It can be referred as quid pro quo. Is a law term. We call them as something in return for another thing. You are returning them for something else. Such consideration should be lawful consideration. Jumping into conscious ad idem, as we already said, meeting of minds, possibility of performance. There should be all the things which should be certain, but it should not be uncertain, must not be vague or uncertain. An agreement to do an impossible act is void and is not enforceable by law, which leads to possibility of performance. Discharge of contract. Discharge of contract means termination of contractual relations. You cannot terminate them between the parties of a contract. Modes. In what way it get discharged? Either by the performance, if he or she fails. Impossibility of performance, which is not at all possible, bringing a moon to the earth, by that too with a human's power. Discharge by mutual agreement. Both get into the mindset that let us discharge this contract. Lapse of time. Time management is much required here. Discharge by operation of law. Law gets into the force and telling that you guys or he or she cannot make into the contract, which leads to breach of contract. Breach of contract meaning it is the failure of a party to perform as part of contract is called as a breach. That is, person A or person B failed to perform it. Consequences of breach. The other party is relieved from performing. Either A or B, anyone can get relieved. It gets a right to proceed against the party at fault. It happens in some scenarios. What are the kinds of breach you can see here? Actual breach, anticipatory breach. Anticipatory and the actual has two types. One is meaning and the mode we can differentiate. In this distinction, we can see the about breach takes place during the performance in actual breach, but in the mode where a party refuses to perform, acts in such a manner that it becomes impossible for him to perform. In anticipatory, it cannot intention of not performing. The party itself get declares he is not in intentionally he says that he cannot perform further. Express repudiation if the party refuses. and it becomes as a due for the other person. The party itself disables himself from performance that he had promised. Contingent contract, which we have discussed, it is a contract to do or not to do something. Essential features, it depends on happening or non-happening of an event. Contingent contract, you have to do something or not to do anything which has been related to your collateral event. That event must not depend upon the mere will of a party. It should, the event is uncertain. You cannot say that it is very certain. Quasi contract, which we have already discussed, which lacks one or more of the essentials of a contract. On the basis, quasi contracts are declared by law as invalid contracts on the basis of the principles of equity. Contract of indemnity and a high required concept to be learnt in this business law. A contract of indemnity, it leads to section 124, is a contract whereby one party promised to save the other from loss caused to him by the conduct of the promiser or any other person. It can affect any other person or the promiser. What are the essentials? There must be a loss. The loss must be caused by the promiser or by any other person. There are two parties, indemnifier or indemnity. He is called as a holder of the party. That is holder of the contract, especially the proposal maker, must contain all the essentials of the valid contract. Okay. Let's see contract of guarantee. The term guarantee itself, we know that is something called assured. It has been assured. A contract of guarantee comes under section 126. It's a contract to perform the promise or discharge the liability of a third person. In case of his default, the person who gives the guarantee is known as the surety. The exact word to be used is surety. So in this case, you can call them as a known as principal debtor, the person whom the guarantee is given, who is accepting, who is acknowledging that, to whom the person is called as the creditor. This is known as contract of guarantee in this definition. Contract of bailment, very important concept. A bailer and a bailee. These are the two persons, two roles played here. Bailer is a person one who delivers the goods. Bailee is a person to whom the goods are delivered. The receiver, one who is a giver and another is a receiver. What about the bailment? A bailment is the delivery of goods by one person to another for some purpose. For example, shipping or lading of goods from the customs or the ports or from cargoes, air industry, wherever you call. Essentials. What are the essentials needed here? Delivery of possession is much required. Delivery of goods should be upon a contract. It should be upon the contract. Delivery of goods must be specific purpose and return of goods should be there. So finally, we could see the contract of agency on which the principal and agent is engaged here. Principal and agent is engaged here or employing another to do an act for him. So what does this exactly says? There should be an agreement between the principal and the agent. So unless and until there is a proper agreement, you cannot lead with this proper agreement. Agreement may be express or implied. It can be maybe expressive as we defined as word by the written. The principal must be competent to contract. The consideration is not necessary. You don't need to consider it. It is not much obligatory there. The agent must act in the representative act capacity. Unless and until the agent has the capacity, no one can get into this. This leads to contract of agency, whereby one person is called agent, another person, another behalf of another person is called principal. So, thank you. Let's see the other module in the next video.